Hello everyone, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the new one called What If Toga Loves Deku? So in this What If, it's basically like, this is some alternate version of Toga and Izuku, where Toga, in this What If universe, she's not a stabby kind. She's not like in the original canon where she's like the stab to love somebody kind. No, she took a gentle approach and has the same like logic to Izuku. Yeah. So yeah. And plus I'm also throwing in Zumi to keep things interesting. So they were, or when they were young, like little kids, they first met each other's. And yeah, when they did, they were hanging out and like doing all the things in the world. So yeah. And then yeah, basically she and him grew up to 15. And I also forgot to mention, Izuku in this universe, the What If Toga Fell in Love with Deku universe, he has actually a quirk that's a little bit like weaker than, or no, stronger than twice his quirk. But his abilities, but his abilities are infinity, that you see in one hand, and zero in the other. Basically allows him to, as he doesn't need blood or take measurements because he's already knows everyone. Yeah. As they've been dating during they were dating a lot. So I'm skipping the internships to get into a ball throw, heroes versus villains. But during the USJ, the whole like villains ambushed of it, students, and Zuko, who get this weird ominous feeling, like a dark aura forming as Toga and everyone, all the students, including Momo, is concerning for him. What's going on? As Toga tells them that he has these abilities. One of them Zero, so he could detect the dark aura like a creature. Sure. So yeah. And he gets too overwhelmed by his own body. As his body's breaking down into like spores, because he's has so much negative from. So yeah, Toga knows that he's still here. He's trying to recover from it. So as Ochako and everyone couldn't believe that Zuko did that. As Mr. Aizawa 13 tells Zuko to calm down. Let us pro heroes handle it. As yeah, the Zumi was there, but she says, "Calm down, brother. Just remember, as he calms down." As when he looked up, he saw Mr. Aizawa is gonna take his last breath before the Nomu smashes him down. As yeah, Zuko took a deep breath as he teleports over there, grabs catches the fist, and he says, "You're not human at all. Why should I be worried?" As his fist turns into a same thing as he punches the Nomu, but the force was infinity. Basically, there was no recovering from that. I know the Nomus have like regeneration. That punch, actually, when it punched a Nomu, it separates it exploded from his waist. It exploded, and as the Nomu died, as he turns, as he sees him saying, "You are," or actually, he says to Zuko that you must be cheating, as he runs right at him, but his key eye, like his eye, stops him. As everyone sees, his body, or the Shiraki-sen's body was stopped. As he walks around, as he says, if that was a joke, that was pretty funny. As Zuku grabs Shiraki-sen by the leg and yeah, or by the arm, and threw him across the stadium. Yeah. So he claps, or actually, yeah, claps once, and his body goes boom. But if he claps 3 times in a row, you know the Thanos snap? Huh? He does that too, but if he snaps twice, yeah. So, but if he claps 3 times. Welcome back. Sorry, team, for this interruption, but I got called by my mom, so to do something, and yeah, the so where we left off, the Zuko was like, he clapped his hands like once, and Shiraki-sen went flying because Zuko took his arm and yeeted, yeeted, and all the way to the far away. So yeah, it's just weird stuff. As Toga is happy about her boyfriend did what none of them did. Even Redhead that saw it, he says, that was manly. Hey, man. As, yeah, when he can also, like, do everything else. So, yeah. And one day, he secretly telepathically told All Might that they're under attack by the villains, because the pro heroes came, as All Might thanks Zuko for telling them, as everyone looks at him like, man, you really start pressing me. As Toga is like that. So yeah. Even if he didn't like, this is what he says to him. this is what she says. Thank goodness you're my boyfriend. That's happiness. So, yeah. Izuku was basically got asked so many questions of, hey, what's your quirk? Mine is twice, like double. But mine's different from everyone else's. Instead of measuring like every body part thing, because my ability is, I have two abilities, two different ones. Is one is 0, so I can like copy the, or when, this is how I put it, as he says, I can take your darkness and make a copy of you. As he made to, like, he asked if who wants to be used to see it. As Ochako says, okay, me. As she sees herself as a when she saw her clone, she couldn't believe that her clone looks exactly like her. Yeah. They start, or he starts, or she starts like saying, wow, so you're cloning, if you clone all of us. And Momo asked Zuko one thing. Why did you break into spores? Well, it's because I got overwhelmed by the darkness, hatred, and like all the negative emotions. It overwhelmed me. See, my 0 doesn't just allow me to like take people's darkness and like to do that. So I can basically as Toga says that, or his sisters, or says because how overwhelmed more people are around him, more power he loses control over. It's like how some people have limits, or all of us have limits. But if he uses too much of the darkness, instead of being corrupted, he gets consumed by his own dark self. As All Might couldn't believe what they're like talking about his court thing. As Momo was like, okay, how about what is that called? That quirk or that other power? As he says, well, my other power is infinity. Basically, I can use it to basically, if I wanted to put them in groups of 6, or put them in groups, there would be like 6 groups of powers. So, as each one is way more, like, as when she says that, wait, so there's 6 groups? Or, so there's probably a lot of groups. Narrow it down to 6 groups. You know, so, gonna use all of the huts. So, power is like strength, and so as All Might ain't gonna be that. He's gonna be the front. Soul as Dark Shadow. It says, this is what he says. The Dark Shadow will be the soul thing. Momo, you'll be the, like, power, soul. I always have to say the Infinity Stones is, like, so, you know what I mean. Like, he has to put them in groups. Yeah. He even says, like, power, soul, time, reality, mind, everything. As he tells them that the reality stone, or his reality part, like group, there's another Izuku who he broke the wall, 4th wall, should I say, as he tells them that another Izuku has a similar quirk or ability of reality. As All Might couldn't believe what he's hearing. Another Izuku has a reality power? Yes. And it allows the user to change reality around. So you could see this as all this into like something totally, completely different. So yeah, Zuko was basically tells him that the humans, or no, he basically explains what reality quirk does. It's almost similar to Momo's quirk, but you can play around with reality. Sorry, I did close the door. So yeah, that's what happens. So he explains that everything in that world, there used to be All Might in that universe. As he actually asked him what about the other 5 groups. Well, I already know the other one, other izuku has a time power that allows him to stop time and do what it, but with his with the training and all that stuff. So yeah. So then, now I'm skipping the sports festival and the internship because the toga chose Endeavor with Zuko because as he like asked, or actually during the sports festival, during the fight thing, he asks like because he asked Nezu if that's okay with him if he sets this one out. As Nezu says, why? Because he actually told All Might and Nezu, or no, he told All Might that he had a weirdest dream. As All Might's interested in what, as he says, I had a dream where I was at the sports festival and some purple-haired kid and ticked me off and I clapped 3 times and everyone, or half of the people that were in the stadium got ninja vanished. What do you mean? As he drew the what it looked like, dust particles things, as All Might can see a person evaporating out of, okay? As All Might says, yeah, let's not do that. As he walks up to Nezu and tells him, as Nezu says, yeah, that's a good idea. Because I have seen him clap once. Yeah. Where everyone's like, yeah, better set this one out. We don't want anyone to, like, get erased from history thing. So, yeah. Sorry about that. I had a weird text. So, yeah. So, yeah. All Might, basically everyone's, like, agrees. So, yeah. But Eraser had decided to tell Zuko that he'll be commentating with Music Mike and with that stuff. So yeah, basically that's what it is. Yeah. So that's what Eraserhead says to Zuko. And yeah. As Toga when Toga heard that Zuko's gonna be a commentating thing, she is happy for it. As she remembers, he never sees her as a villain or, like, all that stuff. Yeah. So, during the raid arc, I'm skipping the camp arc. And he does battle against the hero killer Stain. But when he used his two fingers claps, just his two fingers, one from each hand, when they both clapped, it's basically it wiped out the entire Nomu's army, as Toga is surprised about this. As Toga, or not Toga, Todoroki says, this must be your husband or your boyfriend's power. I see why he said that he has the infinity power that allows him to do that. As Endeavor stops, as he turns around, as he couldn't believe his own son told, or he heard, that Izuku is the most powerfulest person in the world. So yeah, in order to bring everyone back, he has to stomp his foot 3 times to bring everyone back. Yeah. But his Zero absorbed all the Nomus, actually. So every time he stomps 3 times, they don't come back. They're gone forever. But only people that are actual humans, hens, high Nomus, the ones that have real life or living, breathing person in them, like Kirigiri, he comes back no problem. So yeah. So then the whole oh, I'm gonna do this, do that, do that, sorry. So yeah, as twice he's so now the All Might versus All for One. All Might was down, but he's not out. So yeah. So, but when All Might or All for One was gonna shoot at All Might, Izuku steps in, being all calm, and he allowed himself to basically, when he puts his hand on the earth, he absorbed all the negative before, as some creature fell out of a sky, or something fell out of the sky. As when he emerged, this is what he looked like. He looks like Goro from One Punch, as he looks up at All for One, and as he lifts himself up, straight up, as he says in the demonic voice, I am here to kill you All for One. already knew who you were. You're powerful, but not intelligent enough to. As he he comes out of nowhere, or when All For One shoots a beam at him, man, he went from being a turkey to being a absolute, yeah. It's so he ends up, he used Mr. Azawa's moves as he goes left, right, and he does all of it. He does it all. He copies Mr. Azawa's moves and Midnight's quirks and basically everyone's moves and setup. Yeah. As everyone that was watching him using their moves as his own combined moves. As he says this, as All For One looks at him and says, you must be the only person that can wield this much power, Zuko Midoriya. Huh? As he says, yeah, so what? If you kill me, all the villains in the city around the world will come after you. As All Might knows what he's gonna do, as All Might says, no, don't. As he collapses 1, 2, as when he collapsed his hands, as he says, villains. As All Might sees All For One, All For One is getting, in the Avengers Infinity War, how those people that are disintegrated, it's like that. So yeah, that's what All For One did. Hold on. That's what All For One was. He got obliterated. And because Zero, or his other power of Zuku's is Zero, can tell that All For One's just complete evil. So he absorbed him into his own body. That's crazy. As Zuko has won against All Might's number one most hated villain, and the All For One was a symbol of evil. So yeah, when Zuko did that, all the villains that Shrakisen, or everyone that was a villain, they all just did that. As when Endeavor saw what Zuko just did, man, he was freaking out. Like, what? As All Might does the same thing. What? As they both, like, were so in sync of what just happened. And Zuko says, now that's that. You might not hear them or from them ever again. Yeah, so, yeah. Even a doctor that was working underneath All for One was even got obliterated too. Could you believe that? And yeah, he made sure that when he said villains, that includes all the villains except for Toga. As yeah. As when they were terrified of what he just did, clapping his hands 3 times, and that happens to you. That is just like Thanos snap. Baby. So yeah. That's what he did. Currently. And overhaul fight, I'm skipping it because and All Might in this what if is still alive. He's undamaged. But Zuko turns over to him. As he says, as this, I'm gonna heal ya. As he heals All Might up to about his prime All Might self. Yeah. And he actually, or All Might gave his quirk to his sister, or to Zumi. As when Zumi and Zuko are the 2 powerhouses kids in the entire world. So basically, it was his job to keep the quirks from like overloaded. That's why he has 0. So now the Zuko and Toga, they both got, like, after, like, whole, like, everything, after school, she got married to him and had a kid that looks like her, but has green hair. Yeah, I try to make their kid look like that. Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens when someone asks, what would their kid look like? It would look like it looks like their father's hair color with, like, yeah. So, yeah, tomorrow I am going to do a what if, for MEI. Hey, this is what that's what Zuko looks like, and yeah. So go check it out probably tomorrow or any other day. So, goodbye.